When you look at the way people tend to approach life, it feels like most people fall into one of two categories. You have people who lean more toward logic, toward reason, discipline, skepticism, rational thought. And then you have people who lean more towards spirituality, toward meaning, intuition, transcendence, and the belief that there may be something deeper behind existence. And for whatever reason, these two ways of thinking are usually treated as though they oppose one another. As though if you're logical, you can't be spiritual, and if you're spiritual, you can't be rational. But the more I thought about that, the more I found myself questioning whether that divide actually makes sense. Because when you look at both sides honestly, both seem to offer something valuable. Logic gives us structure. It teaches discipline, restraint, skepticism, emotional control, things that are clearly useful if you want to navigate life well. But at the same time, pure rationalism can sometimes feel incomplete, at least to me. Because while logic can tell you how to think, it doesn't always satisfy that deeper part of us that asks questions about meaning, purpose, or whether there's something beyond what we can immediately observe. And then on the other side, spirituality speaks to that part of us. It attempts to deal with meaning, purpose, the deeper nature of existence. But spirituality, when it isn't grounded in reason, can obviously become dangerous in its own way. It can drift into blind belief, dogma, or ideas that are never properly questioned. So when I look at both, what I see is two systems that each seem to contain something important, but also seem incomplete when isolated from one another. And that's what led me to start exploring an idea I've been working on for a while now. Something I currently call Gnostoicism. And at its core, Gnostoicism is simply an attempt to explore whether logic and spirituality can actually coexist. Whether rational discipline and spiritual inquiry can complement one another rather than conflict. Whether the discipline and self-mastery found in Stoic philosophy, combined with the introspective and transcendental pursuit found in Gnostic thought, might together create something more balanced than either does alone. Now, just to be clear, I'm not presenting this as some ultimate truth. I'm not saying I've solved philosophy or discovered anything revolutionary. This is simply an exploration, an attempt to think through a question that I personally believe is worth asking. Because it seems to me that modern thought often pushes people toward extremes. You're either expected to be entirely rational or dismissive of spirituality, or entirely spiritual and dismissive of skepticism. And I just don't know that either extreme is sufficient. So in this series, what I want to do is explore that question properly. I want to break down Stoicism, Gnosticism, and the ideas behind both. Look at where each appears strong, where each appears weak, and explore whether combining aspects of both may offer something worthwhile. And if nothing else, even if the conclusion ends up being that they can't be reconciled, I still think the question itself is worth exploring. So if that interests you, feel free to follow along. Question everything I say, disagree where you think I'm wrong, because if the idea has any value whatsoever, it should be able to withstand scrutiny.